Hi, and welcome to Tip of the Month. I'm Patrick, and I'm the Support Operational Lead with Emply. Today, we are going to cover some of the more frequently asked questions about the functionality of feedback. Let's get started. Now, what we wanted to cover today is some of the more frequently asked questions from our customers regarding the feedback module and the functionalities that are inherent in the different ways you can use feedback. One of the more frequently asked questions is how is the nature of the locked functionality actually working? What is its intent and how are you best using it in your daily work on the feedback? This case here, I have Millie. This specific feedback is one I have filled out for the purpose, but let's say she herself had filled all this out. Now I would be the manager reviewing her different answers, and I would be creating an action plan, most likely with her, but that's really up to the individual organization. I am able to create both comments and tasks, goals and learning to each different element. And the main part of all this is actually to showcase what comes on the summary afterwards, as in what did we agree upon. So the the employee has answered this, and the managerial part has answered this one, as in your own words, what makes a great workplace, and one says parties, and that is primarily what we want to show. And this is an PDF viewer you can always export, and make sure you have it if you want it to be more of a physical copy that you can sit and talk to the person about in a meeting. Now, when the employee and the manager has agreed that whatever content is in the summary is correct and everyone is agreeing this is what we should do henceforth, you can lock the summary. Now, it has been locked. What does that mean? This means that not the manager and not the employee, and actually not even a system admin, can change this. This means that in terms of what the system sees, this feedback cannot be changed anymore. This is to ensure that we have the correct historical data, and this is to ensure that no parties can backtrack and change their answers in the past to alter whatever agreement had been agreed upon. So this is actually to create security for both parties involved. So that is mainly what you should be looking for when something has been locked as a feedback. Another thing, a more recent feature, is that we have included the draft functionality in feedback. This means that when you forward a feedback, let's say I have forwarded to Millie, when it is in draft, it means that Millie has actually been filling this out at some point since she got it, but she's not done yet. Being in draft means that this is her answer specifically, and I, as an admin or a manager, I am not allowed to see her answers because they are incomplete. So I am denied access, and I will remain to have no access to it unless she completes it. And this is always the case, that the one filling out the draft is also the only one who can see it afterwards. This is intended logic as well. Now, another thing I wanted to cover is if we go into the settings of the feedback, a lot of customers are a little bit unsure of what the differences are between the other's feedback and the own feedback. The own feedback is the most commonly used, which is when you forward the feedback to someone and you want their opinion primarily on themselves or something regarding themselves. Others' feedback has another functionality. Let's first say, for instance, I have this department survey. This specific feedback has the function that I want to forward it to a specific department, and I want each individual to answer their honest opinion on the department. Now, I have also made it anonymous, as you can see here. This means that every single answer that I receive back will have all the answers clear as day, but I will have no visual way of actually identifying who answered what. And this is to ensure that everyone can have an honest opinion about the subject they have been asked to answer. In this case, the subject was the department clergy. So when you use others' feedback, that actually means that when you mark an employee, let's say I take Millie, and I say feedback. If I take this department survey and choose this one, I actually have to choose the subject, as in what do I want her to answer about. Maybe I want to take the peasantry department and I can set a due date. This means that I forward the feedback to her, but the feedback is about something else. It's not about her, it's something I want her to answer upon. Like if I did the normal way, or maybe taking a performance review, like we did before, you could see the subject is already pre-filled because it is about herself. I cannot change this. This is the main difference between own feedback and others' feedback. And that is pretty much the main points of what some of our customers are asking about. But please do get back to us if you got other questions that you might want to have answered. I'll sure to be covering maybe in the next video. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this useful. If you got any suggestions on what we should cover next, make sure to email us at marketing@emply.com. See you next time.